Hare Krishna. So today we are celebrating Vasant Panchami, and many Vaishnava Acharyas and their Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi's appearance is there. So we'll be discussing about that. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, I feel very nervous sitting in front of very senior devotees. So please, I request blessings so that I can speak. So today we are celebrating this Vasant Panchami, and this Vasant Panchami is the first day of spring, where the new flowers, the trees, they bloom. And then this festival is very nicely celebrated all over India, specifically in north. And then the deities are offered various flowers and leaves on this day. And the deities are also offered very nice paintings, and they are decorated very nicely. Generally we find that in Jagannath Puri or many other places also, the yellow dress is worn on this day just to signify the Vasant Panchami. Today also is the appearance day of Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. This is very nice that yesterday only in Bhagavatam, Maharaj gave very nice class which very nicely he was describing about Samarpan, how one offers oneself to the lotus feet of Krishna. And then he was describing about how manasa, karmana, vacha, how we offer oneself. And then one main thing which he was telling in the end is that how one becomes free from this I am karta and I am bhokta. When these two mentalities are given up, then one actually starts samarpan. So we see this in the lives of these great souls, the great personalities which we are seeing today. So first is Srimati Vishnupriya Devi's appearance today. And these are the days when these personalities are more to say, they are merciful. So we remember them, we pray to them so that they bless us, so that we can also do same type of, in whatever little quantity, dedication and surrender to Krishna. So Srimati Vishnupriya Devi appeared in Sridham, Mayapur, Navadvip. As we know that these three energies of Krishna are described in the scriptures: Shri, Bhu and Nila. Nila is also sometimes called as Leela. So this Bhu Shakti of the Lord appears in Lord's pastime, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, as Vishnu Priya Devi at the home of Sanatana Mishra, who was very well known Brahman. And Shachimata always used to be very much attracted to Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi, because every day when they used to go to Ganga, take bath, she will come and offer respect and would be very cordial, respectful to Mother Shachi. So Mother Shachi always wanted that Vishnu Priya would be a best match for Lord Gauranga. And when the first wife of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Lakshmi Priya Devi, she passed away in separation when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the tour of Bangladesh that time. So then the second marriage was proposed. And then Sanatan Mishra was very happy to give his daughter to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What could be a great fortune to have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as son-in-law. So he was very happy. And we see that Jagannath Mishra was not very rich, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then one Buddhimanta Khan, who was very landlord and very rich, he volunteered to sponsor the marriage of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vishnu Priya Devi. And the description of that marriage is there in the scriptures, that how gorgeously that marriage was done. And all the Navadvip Vasis and Dham Vasis, they were assembled there to celebrate this divine marriage. And we see that at the time of taking sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this to very few devotees. He didn't disclose this to all, because he knew that if he tells, it will be a great disturbance and great pain to devotees. So very few devotees he told that he is taking sannyas. And there was rumor already going on in the Navadvip Dham that Nimai Pandit is going to take sannyas. And this news had come to Mother Shachi and even Vishnu Priya Mataji. So when the sannyas day was coming very close, Vishnu Priya Devi begged to the Lord that, my dear Lord, please consider, please don't do this. And very nice, will not go in the detail, but it's very heart-rending pastime is there when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, taking the blessings of his mother, Mother Shachi, and consoling Vishnu Priya Devi. And while going, he told that, please understand that only Lord Krishna is the object of our worship. All other things are illusion. And to pacify her, he showed the Chaturbhuj form to Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi, to pacify her that I will be always with you, wherever I go. And then Vishnu Priya Devi, after taking sannyas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, remained in the house in separation, and her everyday activity was, she was always absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. She was so much absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna. Every round of chanting Hare Krishna, she will take one grain of rice and keep it aside. And whatever rounds she has performed in the whole day, so that many rice particles will be there, and then she will cook that very potent, you can imagine the quality of that rice, and she will cook it, offer it in the evening to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special deity, and then she will partake that prasadam. So that was her great austerity done in the separation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that same deity is today also there in the Navadvip Dham, where we go and take darshan of Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. Very beautiful deity. So we see that the service in separation we can see in the life of Vishnu Priya Devi. Because we see that, I still remember now, just few days before temple opening ceremony was there, 48th anniversary. His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj was telling that this was the temple which was so much anticipated by Prabhupada himself. He was personally involved in the architect, and he was personally involved in sometimes changing the marble. He wanted everything high class, and he was like waiting for inauguration. And it would have been a great festival if Prabhupada was there physically to inaugurate the temple. But then Prabhupada departed in November of 1977, and then this temple was opened just few months later. But then His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj was telling that all the devotees could feel the presence of Prabhupada in the absence of Prabhupada very much. And then he was telling that is the way the spirituality works. They could feel the presence of Prabhupada in service to him, what he has provided to us. So similarly, Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi also was serving in separation whole life, because they just got married few years, and then she had to remain without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu whole life, serving Mother Shachi and staying at home. Today also we celebrate disappearance of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is one of the very well-known, very important Vaishnava Acharya in the line of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We know from his writings, and as Srila Prabhupada also quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in many of his purports of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur appeared in 1638 in Devagram in Bengal, and there he learnt his school and Sanskrit and grammar and etc. After that, he shifted for higher education in Syedabad, Murshidabad. So there he was learning Bhakti Shastras under his guru Radharaman Chakravarti, from whom he took Diksha later on. So this Radharaman Chakravarti comes in the line of disciplic section of Narottam Das Thakur. So Narottam Das Thakur's one of the major disciple was Ganga Narayan Chakravarti, and then Ganga Narayan Chakravarti's disciple was Krishna Charan Chakravarti, and Krishna Charan Chakravarti's disciple is this Radharaman Chakravarti. So he gave the initiation to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then he inspired him to serve Krishna in Vrindavan. And Lord personally appeared to him, gave him the order of writing commentaries on the Vaishnava literature, specifically Rupa Goswami's literature. So much of Rupa Goswami's literature he has given commentaries. And of course he has given commentary on Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad-gita and many other literature also. So he is considered a Vaishnava Shiromani, that he is the crest jewel of all the Vaishnavas. And as his name goes, Vishwanath Chakravarti, so different devotees give different understanding. Vishwanath is Krishna. Some acharyas, they say that he taught all the Vishwa the path of Nath, that is Krishna. That's why he is Vishwanath. And Chakravarti is the crest jewel. He is the on the top of all the Vaishnava circles. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also quotes that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was protector, guardian and acharya during 1600 to 700. Jai Shri SriSriRadhaRasbihari ji ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaunitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he quotes that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was protector, guardian and acharya during the mid period of 1600 to 1700. Because there the historical development of Gaudiya Vaishnavism happened. Because we see that after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's departure, much of wrong kind of deviations started. And it was very difficult to even know what is right and what is wrong. But then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was the Acharya who stood with great conviction and great power by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu's mercy to establish Gaudiya Vaishnavism as very respectable and in the society. So that's how his contribution is very immense. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he stayed in Vrindavan almost of his whole life. He had taken a vow not to go outside of Vrindavan. And he served Radha Gokulananda and Giriraj Shila. So this Giriraj Shila was worshipped by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then by Raghunath Das Goswami, then by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, then Mukunda Das, and then Srimati Krishna Priya Thakurani, and then that Shila was also worshipped by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So this today also, if you go to Radha Gokulananda Mandir, you find the both Govardhan Shila and Radha Gokulananda deity, which was worshipped by personally Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Lord appeared to him telling that please write the commentary on the Vaishnava literatures. And he was so absorbed always in writing, because that was given service by Lord only. So he used to be so absorbed in writing this literature that sometimes even the natural calamities also was not a disturbance to him. Once he was writing commentary and then there was a torrential rain and he was sitting right there, but then devotees could see that everywhere torrents of rain was there except where Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing commentary. So he has written almost 40 books of which few are now found fortunately. So some books are Sri Krishna Bhavanamrut, Madhurya Kadambini, Vrajariti Chintamani, Chamatkar Chandrika, Swapna Vilasamrita, Sankalpa Kalpadruma, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, and of course his tikas on Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-gita. His tika on Bhagavatam, that is Sarartha Darshani, is very much appreciated by Prabhupada and all our acharyas. Just to give one example of how immense the contribution of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that this contest happened in Jaipur. So this was year 1706. So that time Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was 68 years old, staying in Vrindavan. And we see that Gaudiya Vaishnavism has gone through lot of opposition and lot of very fatal attacks, philosophically also and physically also, in the lives of great acharyas. So we see that one of the fatal attack was the caste Brahmins. They were not very happy with Vaishnava acharyas giving diksha to and making them devotees. So that was one great attack by the Smartha lobby. Another attack they did, they were not ready to accept even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme Lord. Another attack was, they were not ready to accept worship of Radharani, telling that it is unauthorized. So like that, many vital situations arose in the history. And we see that wherever preaching goes on, attacks are obvious. Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in one of his one place, he says that uh, it is obvious that when we start preaching about the message of Godhead, then there is a opposition. And then he says that when we started preaching, there was some opposition from common people. But he says that nowadays I am seeing that even the well-educated people are opposing, and that is very encouraging. And he says the more the opposition is there, our enthusiasm grows 100 times to preach Krishna consciousness. So this opposition is just to create a catalyst in preaching Krishna consciousness. We see also that when Prabhupada was establishing ISKCON in America, it was no less than a battle. So there are so many court cases going on. One court case specifically was banning ISKCON as an unauthorized cult. And Prabhupada was very concerned. So Prabhupada said, we'll fight. So he said, chant and fight. So, and then by Krishna's mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, that we got a green signal from the court. And then Hare Krishna religion became an authorized, not a cult. So we see that if that would have not been, it would cripple the whole movement. There was no question of preaching only. So similarly, in history also in Jaipur it happened, because much of the Vrindavan deities are now also staying in Jaipur, because Mughals attacked Vrindavan and then they were transferred, except very few deities. So the king of Jaipur, who was worshipping as his Ishtadev Radha Govinda, today also Radha Govinda ji very beautifully stays in the palace of that king. So the real king of the Jaipur is SriSriRadhaGovinda Dev. And king used to be there as a servant of Radha Govinda Dev. So this one place is there, Galta, which is near Jaipur, where Ramanandi Acharyas, they dismissed this thing that where Radharani's name is, comes in Upanishads and Vedas, this is all later on added worship. So they say this is not authorized. And they told the king forcefully, because they were very influential that time, that they said that remove this Radharani from Govinda Dev. Govinda Dev can be worshipped, not Radharani. So then by force, because the influence was so much, that Radharani had to be removed from the altar of Radha Govinda Dev. And that was like a big blow to the whole philosophy and the existence of Vaishnavism. And then the Ramanandi Acharyas, they challenged for debate, that if you really want to make something, then come and debate. So that time, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was staying in Vrindavan, and he was so old to come there. But then he empowered his one of the very important disciple, that is Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, to go there and defeat this attack on Vaishnavism. And Baldev Vidyabhushan, he was well known all over India for his scholarship. So when he came, and practically he defeated all the arguments of this Ramanandi Acharyas. After defeating also, they were not ready to accept the defeat, telling that your parampara, Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara, is not authorized because it is not having any Vedanta commentary. So, because you don't have Vedanta commentary, that is qualification of any sampradaya. So, you are not a sampradaya only. So, there is no point in even discussing with you. So, Baldev Vidyabhushan was now in fix that he has to write, and writing commentary on Vedanta Sutra is not writing some essay of 1-2 pages. It's like a research of whole life practically. Only very great acharyas, they have written commentary on Vedanta. But then by the blessings of Govinda Dev and his Guru Maharaj, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, within few days he just sat and the Lord told him, and then he wrote. And that's how this commentary was completed in few days. And when he came back with the commentary, everyone was surprised. And when they saw the commentary, they could understand that it cannot be defeated. And then they accepted that, okay, you are authorized sampradaya, and then what worship you are doing, that is okay. But in the whole thing, we see that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, as he is considered Rasika Acharya, when the news came that they have taken Radharani's deity out from Govinda Dev temple, and they said it's a very great problem. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur started laughing. So devotees felt that it's a major problem, and then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is just laughing. They said, Thakur Mahasaya, this is big problem. It's a big blow on Vaishnavism, big blow on Radha Govinda worship. So he said, don't worry, this is Man Leela going on. So Radharani will come back again. So practically everything he was seeing as Krishna's pastimes, Madhurya Ras, like that. And that also can be seen in his writings. Sarartha Darshini, we see that practically every shloka he gives, he sees that how every shloka of Bhagavatam describes intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Even the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadesya Yataha. So that verse also he describes that how that is sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Like that. So he is one of the great Rasika Acharya, because Rupa Goswami is called Rasacharya, and then next to Rupa Goswami, he is also following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, gives very wonderful Rasika commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we pray at the lotus feet of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on his disappearance day, that with such great enthusiasm and dedication, he uphold, protected, and become a guardian to the whole parampara. We can also uphold Prabhupada's mission, so that Prabhupada will be very pleased to bestow his mercy on all of us. And also today we are celebrating Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi's appearance. So Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi appears in the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a senior. He was Vrishabhanu Maharaj in Krishna's pastimes, who is Radharani's father. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he used to be in great ecstasy, he used to call out, "Oh Father," like that. And then he used to say that this Pundarik Vidyanidhi is the Premanidhi. He is it's like ocean of prema for Krishna. But then this Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who his birthplace also is near Chitgaon in Bangladesh. He was born, his father's name is Baneshwar and mother Ganga Devi. So he was born there in near Chitgaon. So there he got his education, and then many, now seeing the time ticking up, I don't know how much we can cover. But then this Pundarik Vidyanidhi, because his father was very rich, they were like jamindars, and their lifestyle also was very luxurious. And nobody could see, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this, that specifically Pundarik Vidyanidhi is very difficult to even recognize as Vaishnava, because his attire, his lifestyle, his behavior looks exactly like a karmi who is very attached to opulence of this world. Because Pundarik Vidyanidhi used to live in such a lavish way, very costly dress, very nicely combed, hairs with very scent, oil, and wearing very nice gold and diamond rings, and he will be always sitting on very nice sofa, chewing pan, and all the servants around, he will chew the pan and then throw that in the pot. So it was very, if somebody comes, he will say that this is a very materialistic, attached karmi, like that. But this one pastime comes which glorifies Pundarik Vidyanidhi for his attachment to Krishna. Because this Mukunda Datta also is from Chitgaon. So he knew Pundarik Vidyanidhi very from the beginning, and he knew how great devotee he is. And he was a good friend of Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit, from the beginning of his childhood, he was very renounced, was a very strict brahmachari, and very unattached to anything of this world, never gave any way to sense gratification. Like that Gadadhar Pandit was. So once Mukunda Datta came to him and he said that this very great saint Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he had shifted to Navadvip, because Pundarik Vidyanidhi used to worship Ganga every day. That was his heart. And his heart kind of, he had so much love for Ganga, respect for Ganga, that he never touched Ganga with his feet. Neither he could see others, getting in Ganga and then washing their mouth and kind of messing up there. So he never want to even see that. So he will go in the night only to worship Ganga. From distance he will pay obeisances, sprinkle water on his head. So that was how his respect for Ganga was. So just to stay near Ganga, he shifted from Bengal to Navadvip. So when Mukunda Datta told Gadadhar, who was very staunch, strict, let us go and meet this Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And then both of them, they came there, they paid obeisances. But then seeing the lavish royal opulence of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, that how he was sitting with, it's like a king, and then so many people were serving him, some were fanning him, and then he was chewing pan, his whole, was reddish, and then whenever he has to spit, then one servant will come with golden pot where he'll spit, and then everything was like that. So Gadadhar Pandit thought that by mistake I think I have come here. I thought that I'll see some saint, but this is something else. Of course he didn't say anything as an etiquette, but then he was feeling like that. And Mukunda Dutt could sense by the face of Gadadhar Pandit that he is not very happy with this association. So just to bring the glory of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, because Mukunda Datta was very famous for singing, he was like a singer for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He started singing, Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam Jighan Sayapayayad Apyasadhvi Lebhe Gatim Dhatri Uchitam Tanonyam Kamva Dayalu Sharanam Rajema. So he started talking about how merciful Krishna is, even to Baki, the Putana, who came to kill Krishna by smearing poison. But then Krishna is so merciful that even such demoniac witch like Putana also got gati of Dhatri, mother. Kamva Dayalu Sharanam. So, by hearing the qualities of Krishna, Pundarik Vidyanidhi went into trance. Everything changed. Now he forgot the whole world. He started rolling on the ground, started jumping, crying loudly. And then 10 people were trying to catch him, but they were thrown in air. That was his ecstasy. And he started ripping off his clothes and shouting, and so then by seeing the ecstasy of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Gadadhar Pandit could sense that I did a great mistake, great aparadh, that I never could see that he is such a great Vaishnava, just by little remembrance of Krishna makes him so mad. So then, with this, he approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That he said, Mahaprabhu, I did a great mistake. I want to atone for it. And he said, I feel that I should take initiation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. He said, well done, go ahead. And then Gadadhar Pandit went to Pundarik Vidyanidhi and approached, begged forgiveness and told that I want to be your disciple. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi glorified Gadadhar Pandit. He said that who can be fortunate more than me to have you? And then he blessed him. So we see that Pundarik Vidyanidhi was outwardly not looking like a Vaishnava. But then as we hear from the scriptures that Vaishnava is not only by the dress, not by how he put tilak, not by how his external behavior is, but then how much he is dedicated to mission, how much he is, what is his heart, that will be seen on such occasions. So, we see that we never make this mistake in our life to judge a Vaishnava just by externals. So we pray to Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who was considered like an ocean of prema, Krishna prema, and was respected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he blesses us for practicing our Krishna consciousness nicely in this great mission which Prabhupada has given us. And also today is the appearance day of Raghunandan Thakur. So there is another Mukunda who was a physician and who was staying in Srikhanda. And these three brothers, Mukunda Das, Madhav Das and Narahari Sarkar. So they were staying there at Srikhanda. And this Mukunda Das had this son named Raghunandan. Later on he became one of the very great Vaishnava Acharya in the line of Vaishnava tradition. So they had a very nice deity of Gopinath, which was their home deity. And this Gopinath deity was very nicely served by Mukunda every day, offering bhoga, offering arati. At one point of time when he had to go out of station, and he was not available for arati and bhoga offering. So then he requested young Raghunandan that please offer today's Raj Bhoga to the deities. And Raghunandan, as he was a child and he had seen his father offering, and then he had not much mantra, tantra, that he was not knowing much. It was his first time he was called for offering bhoga to the Lord. So father was out, mother prepared very nice preparations, and then that was handed over to Raghunandan. And then Raghunandan was told that you please go and offer it to Gopinathji. So he took the plate, went to Gopinathji, he kept there, folded his palms, said, "My dear Lord, I don't know all the mantras and things like that, but I know that you are very merciful, so please accept this offering." And then he just sat there that Lord will accept the offering and then he will take the plate. But then he saw that Lord was not eating only. The rice is there only and then sabjis are there. So he got little confused. Then he again tried to convince and request the Lord that please, my Lord, I know that I am not very experienced. I am a child. My father is every day giving you, but then today he is not there. So it is my responsibility to feed you today. So please have this offering. But then he saw that there is no physical eating happening there. So Raghunandan became very worried, thinking that just because I am a child, inexperienced, Lord is not partaking this bhoga. He started crying piteously, requesting Krishna that please. So the Lord spoke to him that, see, I have already eaten it. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. She said, my dear Lord, that philosophy I don't understand. I understand that here everything is there. So the Lord accepted the innocent heart of and then with empty plate he went to mother. Father came back and then he said that, is there any Mahaprasad? Mother said, everything is over. He said, how come? He says, your son, we don't know whether he ate or something happened to Prasad, but Prasad was not there. So Mukunda asked Raghunandan, what happened? He said, Lord ate it. So Mukunda did not had a doubt. He knew that his son is not ordinary. So just to confirm, he gave him 2 laddus. He said that, can you offer it again? So Raghunandan again went with this laddus, offered to Gopinath. And now he said that, my dear Gopinath, I am in big trouble, because father is feeling that I ate it or what happened. So you must now have to eat it. So the Lord was thinking that I ate full Raj Bhoga now. But then still, just to satisfy crying Raghunandan, he ate half laddu and kept it. And Mukunda was seeing this through the window, and he was jumping in ecstasy, shouting and glorifying his own son. How glorious this Raghunandan is. And it comes also that once when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was, they had come for Puri, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked this Mukunda, he said, Raghunandan and you, Mukunda, who is father and who is son? And Mukunda said, Raghunandan is my father, I am his son. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. He said, yeah, very nice. He said, because in our life also we see that it is not by age, but it is by devotional service our age is determined. Somebody may be very young, but very spiritually advanced. So he should be respected. So we see that external things need, as we see that we give respect by the age, by the authority, by knowledge, by devotion. So these are the 4 criteria we see. That when Nawab Hussain Shah had come to test Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami has already left. So that time Sanatana Goswami and everybody got up, because he had just barged in to test, because Sanatana Goswami was not coming. He was on leave, sick leave in his office. So there in the purport, Prabhupada writes that Sanatana Goswami was even respecting a cow flesh eater, because he was a king and he has to be respected like that. So, but here we see that Raghunandan was respected by his father Mukunda Das, because he was blessed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he was so advanced. And the last is Raghunath Das Goswami, which is like big topic, which I will not go in detail. But we can see that he was a only child in Hiranya and Govardhan Mujumdar home. And they were like big landlords, like kings only. And this Raghunath Das Raghunath was the only son. And then they had a huge plan for him for being a future king of that whole area. But then we see that they had this Yadunandan Acharya, who was a priest in the home, and Balram Acharya, who was like a guru. And this Balram Acharya was very close friend of Haridas Thakur. So Balram Acharya used to invite Haridas Thakur time to time to give seminars on holy name. So like that. So many times small Raghunath used to go along with Balram Acharya to attend these programs. And specifically by seeing the character of Haridas Thakur, by his renunciation, by his attachment to holy name, Raghunath Das Goswami was, although he was like a child, he was inspired. And then the renunciation and attachment to Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came from the association of Haridas Thakur. And that's how we see that whole life is such a glorious life of dedication to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we see that right association can create the great future. So we see how Raghunath Das Goswami as a child got right association and then he was blessed. And we are also celebrating, because yesterday by the will of Radharasbihari, Sethi Mataji departed. And we saw that was such a wonderful occasion. The servant of Srila Prabhupada going back in the service of Prabhupada gives a great conviction to devotees that anybody who is serving Prabhupada will be so blessed. Because I still remember, I'll just take 2 minutes. But this is very important because we are so fortunate to have such devotees around who have served Prabhupada personally and they were blessed by Prabhupada. So this Mataji had so dedicated, so much love for Prabhupada. She cooked for Prabhupada, served Prabhupada at their home. And as yesterday also we were discussing that as Sethiji was so dedicated, so much nishtha he had in Prabhupada, similarly wife also. That pastime is there where when they had come in the morning and then Prabhupada asked Sethiji that today we are starting this temple and you are the first, we are asking donation. And then Sethiji had not brought his wallet. There was no money with him. So then he looked to his wife, Mataji, and she understood that we have to give something. So she removed her golden bracelets and gave as the donation. And Prabhupada was so pleased. He said that the first donation has come of gold. So this temple also will become a gold standard. Like that. Srila Prabhupada ki, SriSriRadhaRasbihari ji ki. So that was their dedication. For Prabhupada they were ready to give anything. And now also we see that every day prasad used to come from their home to Prabhupada quarters. And many times we have seen that she used to come and sing here for the pleasure of Radharasbihari. And specifically the devotees who were going, few days they were going for doing Harinam at their place when she had come back from the hospital. Devotees were telling that although she was in so much pain, but when devotees were singing Hare Krishna, she was also repeating. So that is not an ordinary thing, that in such great pain you are chanting Hare Krishna. So that shows that she was blessed truly by Prabhupada. And we can see also that our Sadhuchari Prabhu was telling this. He was there at the time of departure. He was doing kirtan in the morning. So he was telling that this was almost when that in the morning suddenly he's kind of thought while chanting that I should invite all the deities and acharyas. So he closed his eyes and then he was meditating on RadhaRasbihari, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha, all the deities. Then he was bringing them there so that the occasion becomes very nice. And he was telling that so many deities were there, I was little concerned to keep them on proper platform. And then he invited all the acharyas in his mind while chanting, and then he invited all the 9 Narsimhadev, Nava Narsimhas. And then he was telling that when he opened his eyes, he saw that Mataji just left. So he said that was the time when all the acharyas, all the lords, Sri Narsimhadev appeared there to bless soul who is so dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. So we see that it's not ordinary. And by such extraordinary life of dedication to Prabhupada's mission, we also get this hope that if we serve Srila Prabhupada lifelong, Prabhupada will be there, all the acharyas will be there, the Lord and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu also will be there to pick us up in whatever condition we may be in this world. So we are so grateful for these personalities, for their dedication. That becomes our qualification so that we can beg mercy from the Lord. Hare Krishna. Any comments? Okay.
Hare Krishna. If you read Sri Vishwanath Thakur's Sharad Darshini commentary, we see so many dialogues being constructed between Radha and Krishna, the gopis, the Brahmanas' wives, and the other devotees. So somebody may think that he is imagining, but actually the fact is that he used to sit under some trees and write commentary, and those trees, they were eternally present during Krishna's pastimes. Those trees used to dictate the dialogues between Radha and Krishna and other gopis. Then he used to write. That was his greatness.
Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki